Men and women all over the globe are joining now for the best videos on the internet.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
And I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Click the subscribe button now to become a member of the Action Pack. Would you like to know more?
Hello everyone and welcome. Would you like to come along with me to a simpler time? When men were men and women were sexy, and robots would shoot you down in the streets for committing simple petty crimes. I'm Mike, and this is Mike's After Action Reviews, and this is the rapid action review for RoboCop Rogue City.
Hi, it's Travis with Oscar Mike Radio. Oscar Mike Radio is a military and veterans podcast and show about those who serve our country and those who have served and are doing amazing things.
You know what? Let's take more. And then they had that fantastic
managing those logistics and getting things where they need to be on time.
I mean, come on.
Want to learn more? Want to follow the show? Go to OscarMikeRadio.com or the link below. We're Oscar Mike and we're mission in flight. Thank you.
Alright guys, so as always with my rapid action reviews, we're going to start with the production. I'm going to go through some sustains and improves, and then I'm going to get my final review score, and that will be it for the day. So let's get started off here. So, the initial release date for RoboCop Rogue City was November 2nd, 2023. It was developed by Teon, most well known for Terminator Resistance in 2019, and also having done Ocean Runner in 2016. It was published by Nacon, most well known for Lord of the Rings Gollum from 2023. That was a real gem. And having also done Gangs of Sherwood in 2023. The music was by Chris Dettina, most well known for Terminator Resistance in 2019, which was his only musical credit. Okay, and then also Draco Nared, or Nared, it's N-A-R-E-D, most well known for Agony from 2018, and also having done Lust from Beyond in 2021. I think the production here was pretty good. You could definitely see that this was a lower budget title, and that does kind of shine through with some of the stuff as far as like the graphics and certain things. But actually, I think that it was a very well made, as far as just the production, it was a very well made, double A release, not a triple A release. Okay, music was fine, stuff from the movies and things like that, so it was pretty cool. Before we move on to my sustains and improves, I do just want to let you know that according to HowLongToBeat.com, RoboCop Rogue City is 9 hours and 25 minutes for just the main story, and up to 16 hours and 46 minutes for completionists. So, getting into my final statement and review score. Right, so for our first sustain is combat. The combat starts off slow here, but quickly gets better as you level up and get new abilities, and there's different enemies that you'll start to encounter and things like that. But your character is actually... your character is basically a big tank, and he can just rip people apart, and it gets really cool. You get to live out a pretty cool power fantasy here. The second sustain is the dialogue. So you do get a good connection to the characters, and it does stay true to kind of the RoboCop IP with the way that some things are just over the top in the way the characters act and the way that they speak. It's pretty cool to be able to get some choices too. Nothing huge here, but you know, you have a couple of things that you can influence as far as your playthrough through dialogue and stuff like that. So when I say stuff like that, I mean like through dialogue and then some choices you can make when doing the missions and some of the actions you can take. So moving on, our third sustain is the story and length. So the game tells a solid, lore-friendly story that doesn't overstay its welcome with an extended length. I really appreciated this. I think it took me just over 10 hours because I did do some extras here, which is typical because I'm a YouTube reviewer. And it was really good. I never felt like, you know, oh man, this is going on for too long or anything like that. This was actually really good. I think that they made a good. Now there will be people who say I wish the game was longer so I could play through other stuff, and then there's the issue of things like New Game Plus or being able to kind of have like a free roam where you can walk around into the open environments, because there are a couple of open environments. It's not like an open world game or anything like that, but the open world environments doing different things. As far as like a post-campaign, some people may complain of that, but for me, as far as just playing through the main story, this is like those games that we used to get in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, where, you know, they were all pretty solid and they had a start point and an end point. You know, we don't really get games like that, at least not a lot of them. We don't get a lot of games like that anymore from AAA developers where the game starts, it has a normal progression system, and then the game ends, and there is no open world aspects of it at all. We don't really get that anymore, which is interesting. Okay, so then, moving on to my improves. Slow movement, okay? This is a small improve because it's RoboCop, so you got to stay true to the character. RoboCop is a big, slow-moving tank. You walk quite slow through the open world areas. Like when you're not in combat, you're just walking around. You can't use any of like your dash ability or anything like that like you can in combat. So you're walking around pretty slow. That will be something that like I didn't feel necessarily bad about, but if you're a person who's not like a huge RoboCop fan, or you want a little bit of a quicker pace just in general, even if you are a RoboCop fan, that's going to be something that you're going to go, oh man, because it does take some time to walk around some of these areas in the map. The areas in the map are not huge though, so that they, you know, you kind of have some checks and balances here. Okay, then you also have our second improve, which is low weapon variety. This one for me is a bit of a stretch because there's a great emphasis on RoboCop's service pistol that he uses, with the way you can customize it and change the way it fires and stuff like that. But the variety of secondary weapons wasn't very interesting until a few good ones that you can get toward the end of the game. So I was a little bit disappointed in that, and especially once I saw ones we could get. Like you have a pistol, and it can turn into, you know, a semi-automatic or a fully automatic weapon, or, you know, and all that. Higher damage, lower damage, higher fire rate, lower fire rate, different options that you have, which are pretty cool. And then typically you'll have like a shotgun or a rifle of some kind. And then once you get into towards the end of the game, you start getting sniper rifles, rail guns, grenade launchers, just a bunch of cool stuff. And I was like, why weren't we getting this through more of the game? Why didn't they do just a little bit more with our secondary weapons selection? So that was just one that I was just a little bit disappointed in. Not a huge deal. Our third improve, so the biggest improve is this next one. So our third improve are the bugs. Now, there are not many bugs, but any bugs in games are, you know, any bugs that they have in games that really have an impact on gameplay suck. Okay, especially when it's an autosave system, so you don't have the ability to like save, go forward, oh, I encountered a bug, load again, and then you don't have the issue. But here, the bugs include audio cutting out. That happened to me once. I had some NPCs blocking doorways and no way to fix it, so I had to reload the save. That really sucked. We had shaky character models in some cutscenes. That happened to me one time. Just NPCs getting stuck in general, like when you had an NPC following you or something and you were walking and the NPC is like stuck back there somewhere in the level. That sucked, especially because you got slow movement. You got to go back and get that guy. Ugh. And then also get it. So there's a level where you go through an arcade. If you miss some stuff, which I did, you can actually go back to that arcade to get what you missed later on. The problem with it is that if you do that, you will not be able to leave the arcade. So you actually get stuck in the arcade. At least on my playthrough, I ran into this bug. You know, you might be able to do it on your playthrough and not experience this bug. I'm just telling you that there is a chance you're going to, find this bug when you do this. And that really sucked because I couldn't get the collectible. So just remember that if you're playing through, maybe by the time that I post this or you guys see it, that'll have been fixed. The Action Pack needs you. You can support Mike's After Action Reviews on our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Every quarter, once we've made at least $200, we're going to be giving away 10% of our earnings from Patreon in a giveaway over on our Twitch, so go check that out as well. You can find all of the links for everything in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Do your part. Support the pack. The Action Pack. So, I'm honestly going to tell you, the sustains were actually quite heavy for me this time, and the improves were light. Slow movement is just a part of the character that you're going to have to accept if you're going to play a RoboCop game. Low weapon variety, again, I even said it was a stretch because of the service pistol, the emphasis on the service pistol, and I really did not run into any real game-breaking bugs. Just a couple of times when I had to reload because of something, and it didn't really affect my progression because the autosave function that they have actually is pretty good. But what more can you say? What more can you ask for, from a game than good combat, good dialogue, and good story? And that's what this game has. So but also, like I said, on the other side of that, you can definitely tell from the improves that this is a lower budget title and definitely not a AAA game. For all of those reasons, I'm going to give this a rating of 1 thumb way up above average. Okay? This was really fun. Definitely worth the time. Definitely worth the price. And doesn't overstay its welcome. I want to thank you guys all for watching and just say God bless you all and have a good day. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch and join the Discord where you can voice chat with me while I live stream and you won't be recorded or anything on YouTube and Twitch, so that's pretty cool. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you like to read, you can see my after action reports on my blog. And if you are interested, you can get some merch from my spring store. The links for everything are in the description below.